Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. This is our writing week, and this is our opportunity to just let our creativity flow, let it all come out on the page, pen and paper. Victoria, give us your challenge.
All right, so if you recall from the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about using character aspects in order to signal to the reader that something about a character has changed. We toyed with ideas of perhaps a color change, like maybe a character's hair color changes, like you go from Gandalf the gray to Gandalf the white. Or perhaps some other aspect makes a change, like a character has a scar on their forehead. No names who I'm talking about there, but that scar begins to tingle at a particular point in the story, and that signals to the reader that something has changed or is about to happen. That's what we're talking about. How can you tell your reader that some shift has or is going to occur? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what my mom used to do to me. Whenever she wanted me to do something, she would say, I'm going to give you two choices. And the second choice, she didn't say this part, but the second choice was always so bad that I always chose the first thing, which is what she wanted me to. Well, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm legitimately going to give you two choices. So the first one is, in your writing experiments this week, try applying one character aspect change to two different characters. So what might this look like for me? In my novel, I have a main male, Marshall Branch, and a main female, Tara Kaler. She's a museum researcher. He is a generational cattleman. Now, let's say I come up with a change of something that shows that their emotional state has changed. Well, I can tell you right now that it's going to present very differently for a museum researcher than it presents for a cattleman. So once you give your brain that challenge to think about what does this emotional shift look like for each of these two people, and draft each one of those out. Give yourself just some space on the page to play with it and see what that might look like for each of them. Because what you might find is there's something of value in that exercise that reveals something about that character to you that you can then use later. So that's choice number one, is take one aspect and show two characters making that shift. Your second option is to take two characters and create aspects for each of them. So rather than making both of them adhere to one change, maybe one character, which is your main female character, is going to exhibit a logical shift. Something is going to change about the way that she processes or analyzes information or the world around her. And then maybe on the other hand, you're going to take your main male and you're going to have him show an emotional shift, something that's mysterious and changeable and grounded in emotion. Those would be two things that each of those characters normally wouldn't exhibit, but you're going to throw those things at them and see how you can best demonstrate that aspect change for each character. Again, the goal is discover something about them that maybe you hadn't thought of. Maybe when you write an emotional change for your main male character, you discover that this guy's actually quite sensitive, and I never even thought about that for him. That's the goal of the challenge, is see what you can discover by throwing some changes at your characters and writing them out on the page. Kathleen?
Oh my goodness, what a magnificent challenge. I love the idea. I love the idea also of something that's a little bit out of character, because when you throw something that's at a different angle, you're going to get a different perspective and a different view of how your character is responding. Well, that's a bit of a tie-in for what we're going to try to do this month with gratitude. As I teased yesterday, we're going to focus on mystery. When Michael Dean talks about the aspects of essay writing, he refers to the mystery as glimpses. You're not getting to see the full picture, but you're getting a little window into something that if you change your directions, you can get another angle and you can get another view. Just like if you look out your front window and then you walk to one side of the window versus the other, you can see up the street or down the street. In the same way, if you change your view, you can get different glimpses of how a character feels about generosity. Generosity, we have said, is a spirit. When it turns into an act, it's kindness. If it refuses to act stubbornly, then it's hoarding or stinginess. But it's a belief, it's a feeling, it's a tightness with which a character holds on to the things that they consider theirs. So now, what I want you to try to do in your writing assignment is create a character where generosity is going to be a key element in that story, and you're going to pick one or the other. Is it going to be anchor or wing? Take your pick, but you're going to show glimpses in the story of where this character falls with generosity. You're going to show your reader little hints, a little mystery, so that this character says, I'm not sure that guy is very generous. Or, oh, I think that woman is enormously generous. They'll be able to start getting a sense of your character before the occasion arrives when a decision has to be made. Because then what you've really done is you've prepared your reader. You can either say, okay, I've got them well prepared. They understand that this character is generous. So, of course, when our hero asks for help, he's going to get the help. You could. Or you could mix things up and make it a very challenging decision for this person who is very generous. Maybe your hero hasn't proved himself yet. Maybe your character is very particular about the I's being dotted and the T's being crossed, and your hero has not shown up with the goods yet. And so now your generous person is turning into a stumbling block for your hero. But you've already let them know through the glimpses that this person is inclined to be generous. So now you've set up tension in your story. Your readers know that there's a chance this person isn't just shutting them down. You want your hero to say, no, don't give up, don't give up. This is a generous person. Don't turn away. No, keep trying. You built it up. Or you could go the other way. I like the positive story better, but you get to choose. Present your glimpse, present the situation, and then use that to power your story. Either suspense, which is a very good one, or give your reader some hope when maybe your hero is having trouble mustering their hope. Anything to add, Victoria?
Oh, again, we've done it. Somehow we managed to dovetail perfectly. I love the idea of employing those little glimpses as foreshadowing. If you think about it, it gives you a whole new way to explore how are you going to reveal these characters and the arc or the changes that they go through based on the things that they encounter. It's absolutely brilliant. So the only thing I would add is if you're trying to figure out what do I want to challenge my character with, or what thing do I want to pull generosity out of, go back to those pools that we built a couple of weeks ago. I prompted you to make a whole bunch of places to dip into. So if you're sitting here thinking, I'm just not sure how to tackle that, go dig around in your note box and see if it doesn't spit something out that prompts you and pushes you forward into this exercise. I suspect it certainly will. So, Kathleen, if people wanted to find out more or find us, where might they go?
They would go to LiLLiPub.org. It's where we hang out when we aren't here in YouTube land. And one of the best things is we meet every Saturday on a whole fusion writing group where you can submit your writing and have your wonderful colleagues and Victoria help critique your writing and sharpen you up. We've been doing this now for over 2 years, well over 2 years, and we have seen some phenomenal growth in the writing of people who come regularly to fusion writing. For $8 a month, you just cannot beat the deal. See you over there. Bye-bye.